Welcome to the Grizzled Geek Review for January 18th, 2019. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
And we're here with our first news of the year.
Yeah,
18 days in.
To it. Yeah.
Dad, it's only 18 days into the new year. We haven't done anything yet.
Extended holiday.
Extended holiday, exactly. We had a lot of news break over the holidays, so we're just going to break it down here for you. First time back, we're going to break it down into movies and TV.
Okay.
And we're just going to focus on that for today.
Yeah.
Because there's a ton of news out there.
That's what everybody cares about.
And that's pretty much what everyone cares about. So then we're back into the regular schedule, complete with Nerd Nuggets next week. Doug's favorite segment. All right. To kick things off, today, Glass opens up. And they're estimating it's going to make between 60 and 70 million, despite the fact that it's not got the greatest reviews. Now, the weird thing about it is what, like a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, something like that?
I don't pay attention
33,
to critics anymore.
Something like that. But, yeah, I mean, but those are all critics. These none of the, at the time, that was all critic reviews, and the critics didn't like it. However, every time I watch like one of like the nerd channels or whatever the guys reviews, they all like it. You know, the people that I usually listen to. Yeah. And if you want to hear what we think about it, check it out this weekend. We're going to go see it tonight.
Yes.
And then we'll be back with our review of whether or not it's good, which really matters. Let's go with what we say.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll still, you're right.
Exactly. But 60 to 70 million, that's not bad for a lower budget. I mean, this is not a big spectacle superhero movie.
It's not. Yeah, it's a.
I mean, people might be expecting a big spectacle movie. Like if you check out our video on Unbreakable, where does it hold up Unbreakable? Yeah. These are psychological dramas, right?
Right. Yeah.
So they're not like the big spectacle movies. Although I hear there is more action in this than,
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going into it expecting I have seen all of the action, just not in the correct sequence.
Right. From the trailer,
if there's more, awesome. If there's not, I wasn't really expecting it. So
exactly.
We'll see what happens.
I just want to see these characters. I just want to see them interact with each other. I mean, it's been 20 years since Unbreakable, so super excited to see David Dunn and Glass, face off again. But yeah, 60, 70 million. We'll see.
Well, we're going to go to the other end of the spectrum with Aquaman is now the highest grossing DCFU film of all time.
Yes.
It has passed the 1 billion mark.
It's their first one in the billion category.
Yeah, it's passed up all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, so leading to it's the second what you could call like unqualified success of DC.
Right.
It's got the money. Wonder Woman got the critical acclaim, but those are the only. That's it.
And and if you want to get down to it, like this had better action than Wonder Woman did. And Wonder Woman had some good action. The end scene pretty much is what way better in Aquaman than in Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
When it gets to the CGI fest, Aquaman is what I mean. People should take note here. $1 billion. You actually got a fun, action-packed superhero movie that's not dark and brooding.
Right. That's the thing. And they need the lesson they need to take away here is you need the movie to have an appropriate feel to the character.
Right.
So, Batman, sure.
Dark and brooding.
Dark and brooding. Superman should be hopeful. Aquaman, they went with the silly nature of him and just played right into it, stirred into all of the fantastical nature of the undersea kingdom and all that stuff. Fun, super fun movie.
They took all the things that were goofy about the things that we made fun of Aquaman for and made them cool in this. Yeah. Right down to the yellow and green tights, right up to the the concentric circles power where he's
when he's communicating with fish. Yeah, everything. Yeah, and that's the thing that this director obviously learned from Marvel is lean into your characters.
Yes, don't be afraid of who you're.
If you're doing SpiderMan, it's a teen drama. It's 16 candles for whatever.
Yeah. So here's hoping Shazam steps up and is following in that same category.
Now, I typically like my superhero movies a little more serious.
Yeah.
I mean, I like comedy. Like, I love Marvel comedy. Yeah. I loved the comedy in Aquaman. I liked the fun.
It wasn't over the top,
but it wasn't ever goofy. Yeah. I am afraid of the goofy nature of the comedy in Shazam, but the character is kind of a goofy concept.
He's a kid.
So So I'm going into this after seeing Aquaman. I'm going into not Captain Marvel, Shazam, with a little more of an open mind. So
yeah.
So here's hoping that
right.
And hopefully they're taking this. Okay, let's stick with the individual characters. Let's build up the universe before we try.
As reactionary as Warner Brothers has been when it comes to DC, and they've been very reactionary, even from between trailer and movie drop reactionary. Hopefully they take the right lessons from Aquaman going forward.
Who was the other guy with Jeff Johns that were in charge?
Well, Jim Lee's in charge now.
Well, who was it before that was with Jeff Johns? I can't remember the guy who was with. They deserve an apology and maybe get some a little more work from DC because they're responsible for greenlighting this and making sure it stuck to these kind of guns. So
exactly,
that's cool.
And let Juan direct more of your movies.
Yeah, yeah, he's good. He's good. I love that movie.
All right, and moving on into no one saw it coming news. Apparently, we're getting another Ghostbusters movie, and not a reboot this time. One that actually takes place in the regular canon. So the regular first and second Ghostbusters. This is a sequel to Ghostbusters 2, not the rebooted Ghostbusters. Okay. And it was announced one day that Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan Reitman, the original director of Ghostbusters, is actually doing this. And then it's going to be in the original universe or whatever, and it's going to be in current day. So the stuff that happened in the 80s happened, and now it's present day. And then the very next day, we got a teaser trailer for it, which is basically just some sound effects zooming in on a storm in a barn, and then the tarp flies off of Ecto-1. So we reveal Ecto-1's been like under a tarp in a barn somewhere for however many years.
Interesting.
So who knows what this is going to comprise. Now, clearly the original, no one knows whether or not it's going to have the original Ghostbusters in it, right?
Yeah.
Clearly it took even them by surprise because Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson the next day on Twitter came out with their support of it, but it surprised everybody.
Now, here's I'm a wrestling fan, and in wrestling, you have what's called a work.
Yes.
Is this a work?
It could be.
Is this them pretending to have been caught off guard, but having been involved the entire time?
Could be. Although Dan Aykroyd did throw his hat in the ring to help. Like, hey, like if you need some help with it.
Yeah.
Because Dan Aykroyd has been a champion for the Ghostbusters movie for a long time. The big wild card, is, as always, is Bill Murray. Right?
Yeah.
Although they did drag him in for the rebooted Ghostbusters.
Apparently they had to threaten him to get him in. My understanding is that they basically had to threaten to sue him for not upholding something in his contract to get him in there.
Right. I mean, even if it's just a cameo, you need to have the original. If you're going to... This is going to take place in the original universe. I mean, they'll get Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd, no problem.
Here's the thing is, they can bring them in with footage from the old movie.
That's true.
Show, like, their commercial or something like that from the old, somebody finds the commercial for the Ghostbusters or something like that.
Right, true.
So
but they need to be in there. I mean, especially if this is... There's got to be kind of handing off. A lot of speculation is revolving around maybe it's going to have Oscar, which is Sigourney Weaver's son from Ghostbusters 2, maybe.
Okay.
Because he'd be in his 30s now.
Yeah.
So
see, I really wish they had not screwed up the female Ghostbusters so badly.
Yeah.
If they had just introduced some of them in this kind of a context, it probably would have gone over okay.
It's not as a reboot, but as a handoff. If they would have had, it would have been.
But this whole idea that it's got to be all female and it's got to be
and dial back on some of the goofiness
and not be in that same universe or it's totally different. That's where you lost people.
But yet they're still going to crib a ton of stuff from the original, but not. Yet it not be the original. So
right. I mean, I didn't mind some of those things, like, the firehouse. Oh, that's way over our budget. We're going to have to go over here. That was funny. That was a genuinely funny moment in that movie. True. So there was good stuff in there that they could have mined, but they
just got buried under all the crap.
Yeah, got buried under a bunch of stuff. But
yeah, I mean, that movie could have done this. They could have done this way with it, and that movie would have been a lot more well received. Because then you're not like crapping on the fans of the original, right? Yeah. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about this. I mean, the fact that it's Jason Reitman is doing it. So
I don't know anything else he's done.
I don't know either, but I know he's he's a little kid. He visited the set of Ghostbusters when his dad was working on it.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm saying he's got some connection there, right?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Captain Marvel on the Marvel side is tracking towards an estimated 160 million open. 160 million open.
100 million more than Glass.
No, it is a superhero movie. It is a well, I guess a spring movie tentpole. I guess we can call it that.
Yeah.
Because Marvel has pretty much opened up the calendar to March through July or
Marvel
whatever
movies.
it is. Yeah, you can. And they've had stuff later. Like you had Thor in November, I think it was.
Yeah,
October or November. So they've proven you can throw out a Marvel movie anytime of year, and it's a tentpole movie.
Yeah, this is taking was Black Panther's slot last year.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean that's good. Throw in your first female-led movie in the
Marvel
spot,
universe.
So hopefully it'll get the same reaction. I hope it does more than this. I'm hoping it gets the following like Black Panther did, where people going, "Oh wow, this is, a female-led movie is awesome."
Yeah, I mean, if it's a good movie, then I mean, it could definitely do that. And this
I've liked everything I've seen. We'll see if everybody buys into the space adventure.
And this is a whole
aspect.
prequel to Endgame, right? I mean, because you got
essentially,
that she's going to play a major character in Endgame, Avengers Endgame. So we'll see what happens. So everyone's going to want to see this beforehand just to check it out. So I think it'll do well. 160 million. That's early. Early ticket sales have been, amazing for it on Fandango. So
yeah.
All right. Sticking with Marvel, SpiderMan: Far From Home. Make sure you check out our reaction to the trailer.
Yeah.
The bad guys. A lot of speculation around the bad guys in this, right?
Yep.
Clearly, we have Mysterio, right? Jake Gyllenhaal is Mysterio.
Yep.
And he has the dome helmet.
Yeah, that's cool.
He looks awesome. Who'd ever thought we'd get Mysterio as a bad guy in a movie? Yeah. All right, crazy. But now, who are the bad guys? Now, big speculation was, it's going to be Hydra Man, right?
Right.
And then they show it, and there's like a, fire guy and earth guy. So they're talking about, the big rumor now is it's the elements, right? Everyone's saying, it's the elementals. Elementals are characters in the comic. Each one of them have, like, obviously different element power base. Yeah. But are they really, right? Because this is the thing. We didn't know who they were when we looked at it. We took us by surprise when we watched the reaction. But are they really the elementals? Or are they Hydra Man, Molten Man, and Sandman? Right? Because, I mean, there's clues in the trailer that they are
point
those
to all of those guys. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the comic that Hydra Man makes his appearance, is in there, the number.
Yeah, I think it's like on a street sign or...
instead of sign back behind,
and then there's license plates on cars that equate to the other appearances of those guys.
And we know Marvel's not above, misinformation.
Yes,
so
that's true.
We don't know. Right now, the official thing is it's the elementals. Whether or not it's actually Hydra Man, Molten Man, or whether it's some trickery with, obviously, Mysterio.
Yeah.
He's posing as a good guy in this trailer.
Yeah.
So, let's see what happens. Again, total faith in Marvel. We'll see what happens. I just think it's awesome we're going to see these characters in some form or another.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't suffer from cramming too many bad guys into the same movie.
That's true. I hope that, they're just like a plot point and then the main bad guy's Mysterio.
Yeah. So, all right. This one's kind of. I'm hopeful, actually. New TMNT reboot could start this year. It's supposed to be more faithful to the comics.
So apparently, yes, Michael Bay is still producing, but he's going to have less of a hand on this, much like he's producing Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And if Bumblebee taught us anything, is that put Michael Bay back in a producing factor. He can still actually put out good. Bumblebee was amazing. Just if you haven't seen Bumblebee, it's worth it alone for the first 5 minutes alone. It's worth it, and it's a good movie on top of that. So, Bumblebee is amazing. TMNT, no one liked the giant hulking turtles from the last reboot.
Right. Yeah.
No one liked Megan Fox as April O'Neil, which was odd casting to begin with.
Yeah.
So we're getting rid of all that. They're going to be CGI again, but they're going to be smaller, slimmer. More faithful to the comics, I guess.
To the comics or to the original, the cartoon series?
We don't know what they're more faithful to. Because the last one was very faithful to the comics when they had like the toy line and everything. They had the Turtlemobile and everything.
Oh,
they had King the Conqueror. They had it was just
that's the TV series.
Cartoon series. Yeah, it was very faithful to that. I don't know which way they're going with this one. The only bad part is we're losing Steve Amell as Casey Jones, but
that is a bummer.
If they're more faithful, they got me back. That was kind of a weird thing because the first one was like, okay, they got the characters right, they got the relationship between the turtles right, in the first one. Is that we said they need to do these things. They need to have Casey Jones. They need to, go more crazy, have Bebop and Rocksteady and all this stuff like that. And they did. They gave us everything we asked for in the second one, and man, did it suck. So we're like, oh wow, maybe we didn't want those things.
Be careful what you ask for.
So we'll see. All right. Well, Fox merger is nearing, and we have our first casualties of the merger or the buyout or whatever you want to call it. No, it's just a buyout, not a merger.
Yeah.
Like, they're calling it a merger to make it sound less like a corporate juggernaut squashing a little guy.
Well, but you can't exactly call Fox a
little guy, but they're not the juggernaut that Disney is.
No.
So there was a bunch of stuff on a slate. Some of this stuff I didn't even realize was in production or pre-production, I guess, for a lot of it. But they've come in there and slashed it. We're losing Gambit, Doctor Doom, Silver Surfer, Kitty Pryde, Multiple Man, and more than likely X-Force. So Rob Liefeld himself tweeted out, rip X-Force. So
here's the thing. That is because, in my opinion, Marvel realizes that those first 5 should never have been solo movies. You don't make movies about bad guys.
Right.
And you don't take minor characters from different properties and give them their own solo film.
Right.
I mean, Silver Surfer has had his own book in the comics. Gambit has, Kitty Pryde. They've all had their own books. But they've never really soared as solo acts. They've needed
now,
to be
if you want to do a
team.
Silver Surfer movie that focuses on the Silver Surfer, introduce him with the Fantastic Four, right? Do like they did with the last time we saw Silver Surfer, although do it better, and have Fantastic Four in the background and a focus on Silver Surfer. Have a Fantastic Four movie first, and then bring Silver Surfer in. He's a cool character, but I just right off the bat, especially with Fox doing it, I'm really glad that now Marvel's going to be handling all these characters, right? So when we see these characters, and I'm sure we'll see all these characters at some point or another, but they'll be handled through Marvel, not through Fox. So, and probably not in solo.
Yeah. Doom needs a slow build.
Yeah.
So that you can establish his megalomania.
Establish how cool Doom is as a character. You need to have him as the bad guy first in a movie before you go back and revisit who he is. Now, there was a really cool comic series that was just focused on Doom, and it was told from the perspective of like an interviewer, interviewing people, telling stories about Doom. And even that story didn't focus on Doom. He was about Doom. It was other people's stories about Doom. So if they did something like that, I don't know. But they need him having a Fantastic Four movie first, or show up somewhere else.
Yeah, they need to be careful rolling him out because you can't have him get beat.
Yeah,
you have to build him up.
He's got to be your Thanos of.
Yes, correct.
He's nowhere near the power of Thanos, but he is one of the coolest bad guys ever, and he's probably the most dangerous when he gets down to it. If he's so
it's even Steven of which of the two of those is more dangerous in
because he did steal the power of the Beyonder once, just so sheer.
He did.
You can't count Doom out. No?
Yep.
Now, surprisingly, at this point, and again, the merger hasn't happened officially yet. We're still looking at another month yet, but as of right now, Dark Phoenix, whose budget ballooned up over $200 million because of the reshoots, is still scheduled for release in August, and New Mutants is scheduled for release in October. So they haven't been pulled from the slate yet. Of course, there hasn't been a whole lot of advertisement for it either.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. These are what they announced before the merger was official. We'll see what happens with the day of the merger. The merger. We'll see what happens with those movies. My prediction, and it's always been, is that they're going to be on the streaming service and not in the theaters.
Maybe.
So.
All right. So we got some casting for Denis Villeneuve's Dune.
You excited about this? You're a big Dune fan?
I am. I am a big Dune fan. It's probably my favorite sci-fi series of all time. We're going to get Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. That's cool.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista as the Beast Raban, which is cool.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet as Paul Atreides. Now
they're going young. They're going to the books.
Younger. Yeah. In the books, Paul's only 13.
13. Yeah.
So they're going a younger actor there. So we got Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica and Charlotte Rampling as the Reverend Mother Mohaim.
Yeah. She's cool. She's an English actress. She was like the psychiatrist from Split. She was also in Dexter.
Yeah, I think. I think that should. I mean, pictures I saw, I'm like, oh, she doesn't look mean enough. But
she looks too nice.
You know, she's an actress. She can make herself mean, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I am excited for Dune. Yeah, I like any incarnation of Dune.
What makes me most excited about this is the first name on this list is Denis Villeneuve. So,
oh yeah, yeah, true.
That alone, I mean, Batista's cool, so Skarsgård's cool.
Yeah,
the casting's fine. The fact that he's directing this, and you know, and it sounds like he's gonna be more faithful to the novel than past iterations.
Right. Yeah.
So,
well, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Right.
All right. Is the Star Trek Kelvin timeline dead?
Yes.
Pretty much. Star Trek 4 has been indefinitely shelved after Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth have both walked away from the project based on pay dispute. Because they tried to get them on the cheap because they spent too much money developing the first version of this movie that they ended up scrapping and had to go back and rewrite.
Yeah.
So they paid for a script. They started production on a script for Star Trek 4. When it decided to go a different direction, scrapped all that, had to go back and pay for another script to be written, right? And apparently this one was going to have more of a bigger part for Hemsworth in it. So it's going to be like a Kirk father-son thing. So obviously time travel or something like that going on.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Thor.
Yeah.
Back when he was Kirk's dad in the original, he was nobody knew who he was.
Yeah. Is that's what proves that at this point Paramount was just getting desperate.
Yeah.
Throw big names at it and hope that it draws people in. So, I'm not necessarily unhappy or disappointed that this Kelvin timeline's dead.
Right. Although it will have rippling effects through the Star Trek universe. Picard, the series with Picard in it coming back, is going to have the destruction of the Romulan Empire, which caused the whole Kelvin timeline thing and Spock going back in time, is going to have happened, and that's going to affect him, who was working for peace with the Romulans and whatnot from last we saw Picard. Okay. So that's going to have a lasting effect on him and what he's doing, the destruction of the Romulan Empire. So the event that caused the Kelvin timeline is actually moving forward in the actual regular timeline.
Okay.
So the Prime timeline or whatever.
Sure.
So we'll see. I'm just excited to see Picard again. So.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Mike and his twisted glee, whatever over here. After massive success, Venom sequel is official. It's officially in the works with Woody Harrelson set to return as Carnage, which was the only. I don't want to say it was an okay movie. I don't really care. I didn't really care, and I didn't leave it going, that was a horrible movie, but I also didn't.
Did you picture this? You came out of that movie going, okay, that was not the train wreck, the dumpster fire that I thought it was going to be, but I did not expect it to make the kind of money it made.
Yeah, because it was not a bad movie. That's all I can say about it.
Right.
It wasn't a good movie. It was not a good movie. So I don't know where all of this. I guess people just
love Venom,
like Venom, and love the CGI on it or something. But I mean, the interactions, Venom was funny. The symbiote talking in his head was.
That was
funny.
the best part of that movie.
That was really the
Tom Hardy and Venom talking.
Point. Yeah. So. Yeah. So there's another one. Woody Harrelson did look cool as Cassidy, so
he will make a great Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson.
So
pulling off crazy.
That'll be interesting, but
again, this is one of those things where I don't want to wish ill on any superhero movie. You know, I would hope they're all good, but again, this is another thing that if this one is successful, then it's almost a guarantee they're taking SpiderMan back from Marvel.
Yeah, which
is just something I'd rather not have been a movie. And Marvel will still have control of SpiderMan, but
correct.
All right, so we've got the movies handled now. Moving on to the TV.
Yep.
The TV news. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. goes into season 6 with some returning characters and a new character. Anthony Michael Hall, Rusty himself from the original Vacation movies, is going to be in this. Now, Anthony Michael Hall, I like him. I liked him ever since like the Dead Zone series.
Right.
I mean, I liked him since he was a kid and he's 16 Candles. And
he
was, which is odd because he's so intense looking now. And when me and Doug grew up, we knew he was always the nerd.
Yeah, he's a dork.
He was a dork in a movie. If there's a dork in a movie, you can't say Anthony Michael Hall. But then when they cast him in the Dead Zone series, you're like, wow, this guy's really intense. Holy crap, Russ, you got serious. But yeah, so we're not sure exactly what role he's going to be playing, but the fact they got him in this is cool. Also going to bring back the characters of Enoch and Agent Piper. So Enoch was a cool, well, I guess Doug hasn't seen the season yet, but he's a cool.
I am behind.
Yeah,
I'm way behind.
He's like 2 seasons behind on that, but he was basically a robot or kind of. Anyway, he's a cool character. Agent Piper was always cool. She was kind of left hanging, so we're not sure exactly where she left off, but we're getting her back. So cool. I'm excited for season 6. I think this is probably the last season of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's what they said last season.
That's true, yeah. And then they gave it,
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Especially with the Marvel streaming service, what's going to happen now?
Sure, yeah, and with Coulson appearing in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. It's like I said, it'll probably not be. This will be the last season I'm betting on ABC. So
possibly, yeah.
And then go from there.
All right, going from there would be to the Disney streaming service, which we're going to talk about now. We've got a list of Marvel shows that are coming to this streaming service. We've already heard some of these. Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
Loki. Bucky and Falcon.
Yep.
A Hawkeye show. And a Lady Sif.
Yes.
So I'm happy about all of those.
The crazy part is we're talking about these are TV shows going to the streaming service, but these are the Hollywood actors who played these.
Right, yeah. So they're getting Jeremy Renner to do it. That's awesome.
I'm like, this is big time.
Hawkeye is better for a TV show.
They could really do that character justice with a TV series.
Yes. I'm glad they're bringing back Lady Sif because I loved her. Jamie Alexander was great.
Yes.
I liked her on S.H.I.E.L.D. I was disappointed
I missed she wasn't in Ragnarok. Although I'm kind of happy she wasn't in Ragnarok because they just killed off the Warriors 3.
Well, that's true.
Dispatched the Warriors 3 without even...
Yeah. So... That'd be interesting if that's what she's dealing with, the fact that she wasn't there.
Yeah.
And, the guilt that goes with that and stuff. That'd be interesting. In discussion are War Machine, Moon Knight, which I'd be excited for, and Sentry, which I'm not excited for. That is the opposite of Hawkeye. You go from...
Sentry needs to be in the background for... He needs to be... They need to be dealing with Sentry... Yeah. It's part of the plot, let alone,
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Sentry is Marvel's answer to Superman, except for the fact that
he's a Zack Snyder Superman.
He's the
brooding,
except for he's brooding. Infinitely powerful. He can be as powerful as he needs to be, but he gets evil if he gets too powerful. So
probably gets the more evil he gets.
Yeah,
fight against the
weird
darkness. Yeah. But he's a weird character. I think our generation has a problem with him because they've kind of gone back. People that read comics later on when Sentry's around the 90s, whatever, late 90s, whenever he came out, they just assume he's all part of it because they kind of retconned it back into...
Yeah, he was always there.
He was always there.
But he got too powerful, so he wiped his existence out of everybody's mind.
Yeah, so if you go back now, you're like, Sentry was always through all the Marvel universe, but... He's kind of a weird character. Now, the War Machine idea, from what I understand, it would be War Machine tracking down stolen Stark technology.
Yeah.
So, that sounds like a series. that's a good idea for a series right there. I'm down for that. I'm down for any of these. The fact that we're getting these movie... these movie actors and these roles in a series. Now, there'll be limited series like on Netflix, right? Like 10 episodes.
Oh, yeah, sure. But still, yeah.
But,
still cool.
Way cool. All right. Speaking of way cool Marvel TV, and Punisher Season 2 premieres today. Drops today to mostly positive reviews. Now, the people the negative comments have been that it doesn't quite hold up to the first season, but then the first season was amazing.
Yeah.
First season's up there with one of my favorite. So it's really hard to do that. Yeah. But what all the reviews say is that Bernthal knocks it out of the park. That he's the reason to watch this show.
Yeah.
That he is this character, and he brings so much to this character that because he's a tough character to do.
Yeah. You totally buy into this character with him.
Absolutely.
Whereas he can be an over the top, like, this guy's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, Bernthal brings it humanity to him.
You can totally believe this guy is real.
Yeah.
And could happen.
So, I know what I'm doing this weekend.
All right. Speaking of Marvel Netflix, Vincent D'Onofrio, the Kingpin himself, is urging fans to fight the Daredevil cancellation. And he's got a petition. And it's getting big. So,
if you want to see Daredevil, go sign that petition.
Yeah. We're going to put a link to that in the
I'll put a link down there. Why not? Yeah. That's worth it. Although, and the weird thing is, quickly before they cancel, because the Punisher debuts today, he'll probably be canceled Monday.
Yeah. So.
This is weird because first I was like, okay, they're doing this so they can get the characters back. They can put them on a streaming service. Mm-hmm. However, from what I understand is they can't just take these shows over to the streaming service, and they can't even use the characters they can use the characters if they recast them or whatever, but they can't use these characters for 3 years after this deal ends, after they get canceled, right?
Yeah.
Which means we couldn't see these characters just ported over.
Right.
Which is what I was hoping for. Now I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, get them in the movies or something like that. So, that's what's weird is because they were trying to get Daredevil. I mean, there was serious talk of Daredevil being in Avengers. Yeah. So, I mean, you would have thought that would have come out earlier. That nope.
And it's already been established. They're in the same timeline. It's all the whole thing. But I don't even to see Avengers Tower in the background in the beginning of early seasons. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand what's going on with him, and it's kind of upsetting that to think that this is the last we'll see these characters.
Yeah, that is a bummer. Yeah, because they were,
even Iron Fist. You finished Iron Fist.
I finished Iron Fist finally, and I was like, oh man, I want to see the story from this point.
Yeah, finally got to a point where I want to see more.
I want this. Yeah, I want this story to keep going. That was a cool ending.
Yes, but there we have it. All right, where are we at?
Second to last.
Oh, is that me or you?
That's
yeah, right. Well, back on still on TV here. To nobody's surprise, CW has announced that they're developing a Batwoman series based on Ruby Rose's Batwoman character from Elseworlds. This is a very successful Elseworlds crossover this year.
Yeah.
She was awesome. I mean, I saw that as soon as I saw her on screen. I'm like, she's getting her own series.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I mean, so far CW, it's the truest to the DC characters that we have right now.
Yeah.
Except for I got some issues with how they treat Superman, but that's something for later.
And that's not a CW issue.
No, that is a Warner Brothers issue with how they're. Yeah. But anyway, Batwoman getting her own series on CW.
Cool. All right, Star Trek Discovery launches season 2 with some familiar characters. We're going to get Ethan Peck as Spock and Anson Mount as Captain Christopher Pike.
If Anson Mount sounds familiar, he was Black Bolt in the Inhumans, that popular Inhuman series.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. That was just
it's not his
series.
Fault. Yeah, but
how do you feel about them screwing up the timeline when it actually has characters that you like?
Yeah, not interested.
My big theory, I'm going to throw this out here, and it's not true at all, but the fact that Spock, the way they're doing Spock now, they're portraying him before he's committed himself to logic. So he's got a beard, and he's emotional. So I actually see him smile in the trailer for it, right? My theory is that, he's Cybok in disguise. It's actually Spock's brother.
I hope so.
They finally, acknowledging that character. Since, it's a horrible movie. Star Trek 5. Yeah. It's a horrible movie. But they introduced that character and then never mentioned him again. Yeah. But he
probably because it was such a horrible movie.
True. But he's bearded, emotional Spock.
It is, that's
makes sense.
What Cybok was. But, this is... I really don't care about Star Trek Discovery. As soon as I saw the Klingons, I was like, I'm not watching that show.
Yeah. Why did you mess with the Klingons?
When you screw with the...
I will admit this. The end of season 1 Discovery got good. Actually got made up for it. Like, okay, I kind of see where they're going. It's pretty good. I'm still don't like how they screw stuff up. I don't like how they change the Klingons. I don't like how they try and squeeze stuff in that happened in the past that screws up stuff that already happened.
Right.
And I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't want a reimagining of Star Trek. I want you to come up with stories that fit the universe that you already have.
Right.
Not, oh, that's too hard. Let's just change it all.
Right. And plus, and I don't know how I feel about Christopher Pike after, Bruce Greenwood did such an awesome job as Christopher Pike in the Kelvin timeline.
That's true. Yeah.
Going in with another Pike. The character's cool, what they've done with him but we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Well,
not interested.
Yes, not interested. I'm not interested in paying for it, definitely.
Oh yeah, that's
it. Yeah.
If I can see this on Hulu or something like that, I
Yeah.
might give it a shot. But...
Yeah. Paying
And I guess at one point it was on Netflix. They had a deal with Netflix, but it didn't resonate with the Netflix audience, so they scrapped that.
They're like, nope.
And Netflix won't pay for anything they have. They're like, you can't. There's no price you could give it to us.
And if Netflix won't pay you for your movie, holy crap, something's wrong. If they don't want to shell out money for it.
Yeah.
Netflix is like the whole shotgun approach to making their movies.
Yeah, Discovery. They came out with some new shorts.
Yeah.
That for Discovery to kind of flesh out some. I only half paid attention to it because I don't care about Discovery. But apparently they took it to, they're like, hey, this is going to help us recoup how much we spent on special effects and stuff like that. And apparently they had to reshoot a bunch of stuff because they didn't like the way the original person was doing season 1 or whatever. But anyways, they made these shorts, then took them out to sell them, and nobody would buy it at the price they were selling. They had to super discount it. They were getting 20% of what they wanted or something.
Wow.
Ridiculous. It was pretty sad.
Yeah. But sadly, this is where the Picard series is going to be too. Is on.
Yep. Yeah, I won't see it
Access.
until it comes out someplace else.
Get my.
I'm not going to get... Here, we're getting back into cable territory. I'm not going to pay for 20 different streaming services.
Yeah.
You don't have anything I care that much about.
I'm already going to switch off after... switch from DC to Marvel this year. Or Disney. DC to Disney after...
yeah.
Yeah,
You're going to have to start making choices.
Until Swamp Thing comes on. Basically switch off every month.
There you go.
Like, what's coming out this time? Well, Swamp Thing's on. I got to switch back to DC.
Yeah.
Back to Marvel. All right, guys. There's your news for the week. Well, it's the news for the important stories for movies and TV that we missed over the last month. We've not been here, or been doing news.
Yeah.
Doug's been off in California and everywhere. Knott's Berry Farm.
Sick. Yeah, Knott's Berry Farm. Then I came back and got sick. Promptly. Finally getting better.
So you got your place in line for Star Wars at Disney this year?
No, actually, not going until.
Wait for that first year.
Yeah, but wait. I'm not that crazy that I'm going to go sit in the summer heat in 3-hour-long lines. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
I'll go to Disney before it opens, and then wait a year.
And wait a year and go next year. Yeah, fair enough. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the news with us. We'll be back again next week with all the nerd news that takes place between now and then. With your weekly nerd news wrap up. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you want to check out our other channel of gaming info, we got a bunch of paint tutorials and stuff like that on there going up now.
Yep.
That link is down below. If you want to support the channel, with the links down below, Doug, where are they?
We've got a Teespring store. Got our Amazon affiliate link where you can go shopping and pay nothing extra, but give us a kickback. And then our Patreon, which we are working to restructure and add some stuff to. So that should be improving this year.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see you then, guys. Bye.